The Christmas Volunturr. The Christmas Turr was home one Christmas Eve out on the funks. The little Turrs were all tucked up into their seaweed bunks. He was posting on his Facebook page some snaps he took that day of gannets diving for their lunch into St. Mary's Bay. "Oh, my lord, their heads is hard. I know that must be sore. They must go through some Advil now or Tylenol galore." And all at once his phone lit up. A call was coming through. I suppose now that's the telemarket crew. "Hello? Now my computer's working fine. I got me taxes all done up and sent in well on time." "Excuse me," said the voice. "Is this the Christmas Turr? My name is Janice Fitzgerald, and I hope you'll help me, sir." "Oh, my goodness gracious. Now this is quite the honour. I got me jabs done long ago, one Pfizer, one Madonna." "Good for you," Aunt Janice said. "I'm glad to hear you got 'em. There's still some box we got to do out on the Offerwattums, and some cormorants are all shagged up into St. Mary's Bay. But other than that, all hands are done. Well, almost all, let's say. There's still one place we haven't touched, one place we got to do. 'Tis Dunch Cove in Placentia Bay. Sure no one knows where's to. It hasn't been seen for 60 years. The fog is way too thick. We'd like to get them all jabbed up so no one don't get sick. Now, my mate, don't be afraid, 'cause I can carry lots of jabs up to the Dunch Cove crowd, and they can get their shots." The Turr got ready right away. A job of work he had. John Hagee said, "My Janice, he's a plucky little lad." And so our Volunturr took off and launched into the sky. "Now, John, old dog," Aunt Janice said, "I know he's not some boy." The Turr flew out across that old far greater bay. He dodged around some hunters there he saw along the way. He was passing by Barhaven when he looked ahead and said, "I must be getting close, I suppose. That's fog I sees ahead." He dropped right down to wave-top height and lost a lot of speed. "This fog is thick as Nan's pea soup, with doughboys, yes indeed." He punched ahead and hoped his navigation wasn't off. He pitched down for a little break and had a little scoff. He had a funny feeling as he got back in the air, like maybe he was not alone. Was someone else in there? Sure enough, a figure loomed up, standing on a beach. 'Twas Joey Smallwood, large as life, about to give a speech. "Hello, Joe," the Turr sang out as he flew by Joey's head. "Do you know where Dunch Cove's to? I thought that you was dead." "Vote for me," said Joey, "and my friend, you need not fear. I don't know where Dunch Cove is to, but I'll pave the road out there." "Pay no heed," a voice rang out. "That man is diabolical. We'd be much better on our own, and you should vote responsible." "That's Peter Cashin," thought the Turr. "If I got either clue, I guess the fog is thick enough that time is slowed down too." A Viking longship next showed up, full of hairy fellows. A guy named Lease said, "Excuse me, sir, which way to Lancel Meadows?" Next a plane flew overhead, flown by a female ace. She said, "My name's Amelia Earhart. I can't find Harbour Grace." "Look for the coil," said the Turr, "and you'll be almost there. I'd take you up myself, but see, I got no time to spare." The Turr was thinking, "Boys, oh boys, this trip's a little weird," when he smacked into a big old sign that suddenly appeared. He looked up at the sign and said, "I must be here, I knows. We welcome you to Dunch Cove. A lovely sight, we s'pose." The Dunch Cove crowd was all lined up to get their first jabs done. "Sure I got thousands," said the Turr, "so you'll have more than one." Some got Pfizer, some Madonna. All hands was quite happy. None wanted past the vinegar. They figured that was crappy. And so all hands was jabbed up, and they were the happy bunch. They gave the Turr some capelin so we'd have a little lunch. He said goodbye and he launched off and he climbed above the fog. Gander Center gave him clearance and said, "Well done yourself, old dog." He got home Christmas morning as the little Turrs awoke. "Sure Christmas was last week," he said. It's his idea of a joke. He gave them all their presents as they flapped around in joy. 'Twas capelin all wrapped up in kelp. "Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy." And then our Turr took a spell, 'cause he was old, you know, and he thought about another plague when he'd been on the go. and he had carried medicines to Croak and Lancelot 100 years ago, he s'posed, back in the Spanish flu. We got through that one then, he said. We'll get through this one now. A tough old bunch is what we are, and stubborn, I allow. So Merry Christmas from the Funks to all your crowd and you, and all the best for everything in 2022.